The Chemist Warehouse Footy Finals half-price cosmetics and vitamins sale is on now. Stock up and save today. Shop in-store or online now at Chemist Warehouse.
It's Pete and Kimber with Ben Cousins.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday. Got a brand new segment on the show called Weird or Not. Far out, we're speaking to some weirdos, and I'm absolutely loving it. You're at home here. If you're a weirdo, this is your place. We are your people. All right, and we absolutely love you. We love the fact that you tell your stories here. So you go to peteandkimber.com.au, you register something that people have told you might be weird. Yesterday, you're going to hear from the weirdo who is probably at this particular point in time waking up to her toothbrush having been soaked in a cup of coffee overnight. Why? Well, we'll play that coming up after 6:30 this morning because we did it late in the show, so you may have missed it, especially you early risers. Also, my good mate Tommy Little joining us after 8 o'clock because Carrie's been doing something incredibly weird, and I think you'll agree. Ben Cousins on the show after 7:30. Dave Hughes joining us today as well. And so it's the Emmys.
The Emmys have happened, the 77th Emmys. And yeah, look, I'm going to tell you all about it. There's a lot of shows that I was watching that I haven't seen that I'm like, why have I not seen these?
I know, I do like watching these award shows for making the list of, okay, these are the stuff that I need to go back and watch.
I also now need to download a lot of streaming services I currently don't pay for, but, that's fine. We'll work a budget out.
So what did we like? What came out of it yesterday where you're like, I need to go and tick this one off?
The biggest winners of the night, Adolescence, huge, which Netflix, which, was a big winner. Severance, which is a sci-fi thriller.
I've heard a lot about Severance. Yeah,
huge. That one's on Apple. And then the HBO original series, The Pit, which took out the best drama, which
The Pit?
Yeah, The Pit.
What's The Pit about?
So that one's on Max, and that looks like a really good one to watch. Ben Stiller is the director.
You've got me. I love Ben Stiller.
And The Studio, which is won Best Comedy, and, Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, his first Emmy.
Yeah, and he honestly he couldn't even carry how many he won.
Yeah,
so.
It blew me away that was his first, you know, and he's done so well. I mean, he's been such a comical genius in movies for so long, but this just paints him in such a different light. It's so nice.
It's their first year, 23 nominations for The Studio, which is
that a record?
Huge. No, Severance had 27.
Right, okay.
So, and look, they walked away with, Severance won 8 and The Studio won 7. Kate Blanchett, our Kate Blanchett, did not win, but Kristen Milioti from The Penguin, you might remember her. She's in How I Met Your Mother. She's the mother. So
Can I tell you something?
Oh, golly.
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw How I Met Your Mother?
No, I only ever saw the highlights. I knew the jokes.
Oh, it's a great
show.
I
know it's a great show,
well, I'm
but
just adding to your list today,
you are
Pete.
adding to my list of things that I never have time to watch.
But look, a huge mention for the 15-year-old Owen Cooper who won Adolescence. He won with Adolescence, and he's the youngest male acting Emmy winner ever. So
he is such a good job in that show, though.
He looked so cute in his little suit. He looked really sharp.
Yeah. Can I make a mention to Stephen Colbert?
Oh, yes.
I mean, he's been through all of that stuff with Trump and then CBS canning his show. And one of the cool things was watching him come out and all of the audience give him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Where you can just see that there is this feeling of, we can see what's happening. We're with you. You know what I mean? I loved that.
Absolutely. No, that was a beautiful moment. But look, Nate Bargatze, he is all-time favourite comedian. He's such a good comedian, and he was hilarious. He hosted the Emmys, and look, they came to him this year. They're having issues. They couldn't keep it on time. It usually runs like an hour or so over, and they gave him the task of like, how are you going to keep the speeches on time? And look, he came up with an idea. He wanted to keep everyone's speeches to 45 seconds. So he said he would personally donate $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, which is an after-school program for young people throughout the US. But there was a catch. So have a listen.
If you stay at 45 seconds, it stays at $100,000. That's every second you go over 45 seconds, we will deduct $1,000 away from the Boys and Girls Club. I know. That's tough. It's hard. That's tough. It's brutal. What are you going to do, though? I can't change it. This is a game I made up, and these are the rules. So
Also, he says the word adduct.
I know, bless him.
He was so cute with his
Bless
words.
him.
I thought it was such a good idea. As
I
you
agree.
mentioned, in terms of like keeping people engaged.
Yes.
I was locked in
Yeah.
to see where the tally was. And every time I saw someone's speech, I was virtually counting the seconds.
It kept you engaged the entire time. It
Yeah.
kept you waiting for every speech to see if they went over or they went under. And a lot of, Hannah, there was a girl who won, Hannah Einbinder, for Hacks, and she was like, I'll pay it. People were very aware of it all night. Some people did not care at all. Look, there was a bit of backlash that, the first time Emmy winners kind of this did take away their moment in a way.
It doesn't take away their moment. Sit down. I saw a bit of that backlash. It also told me that there's now three groups on social media. There's the Facebook old boomer haters. There's the Instagrammers, which are somewhere in between, and then there's the TikTokers and for the most part, I saw a lot of positive praise. I thought it was a great idea. Would you think it would work next year, or you think it's done?
It can't. They can't do it again, and because look, it did end up at negative $40,000, so people did go over. But the show was only 5 minutes late, so it worked.
It worked,
but
there
it
you go.
can't work again. And look, CBS did donate $100,000 in the end, and Nate Bargatze actually donated personally $250,000. They can't do it again because everyone will know that they're bluffing.
Yeah, they're just going to throw the money in.
Exactly. It's never going to work again, but it was a great idea and I loved it.
So the last time we caught up with Dave Hughes, Benny, it was the day after the AFL Legends match, and he was in his hospital bed still, and he sounded a lot like this.
Yeah, look, I knew, it was Andrew Embley, proud West Australian, who I had dinner with the night before. And we were going for the same ball, and I don't know how it happened, but Embers is a big bloke. And, so I think that's when it happened. I broke my ribs then and punctured my lung, but I'd never had it happen before, so I kept playing. But then this morning I'm in bed, and, my wife said, you need an ambulance. And I said, no, but she drove me to the hospital. So, yes, and the x-ray said 5 broken ribs and a punctured lung, so I probably should have went to the hospital last night.
All right, he's with us now. Hey, Hughesy, good morning, mate. How are we feeling?
No, I'm still happy with my decision not to go to hospital on the night of. I mean,
I thought you died,
cars.
Hughesy. I thought you died. When they said we're talking to Hughesy, I got so excited. I thought
On the other side. Mate, on the night, I couldn't go to hospital. I was hanging out with Gary Ablett Jr., you know what I mean? Me and Gary Ablett Jr. were the last two sitting there in the change rooms, It was like, I just felt like I was, one of the AFL legends. So I just had to hang out at the party. I did complain a lot at the after party about being sore. And they probably thought I was just whinging. But yeah, the next day when that x-ray came back and said 5 broken ribs and the punctured lung, I thought, you know what? This is the moment. And I can't remember that interview. I can't remember most of the interviews I did that morning, to be honest.
What I couldn't get over, Hughes, honest to God, mate, like, you were everywhere. Like you were on radio stations around the country. You were all over the TV. But doing your own interviews that day.
Well,
I just could not believe it.
Well, this is true. I mean, at one point in the middle of that media frenzy, I had the bosses of the hospital I was at come down to speak to me. I thought they really, good on them for, congratulating me for putting their hospital on the map. And that wasn't what they were doing. It was an intervention, and they said, you've got to stop doing interviews. You're in ICU, for God's sake. And I'm like, guys, they didn't know what healed me. They should have known the attention heals me. So
have your heroics watered down the legend of Dermot Burton and what he did in the grand final?
Mate, this is
because
true
he was
as well.
standalone before you came along.
I know that. And him and Dipper as well, mate. So you've got to understand, I'm now Robert Di Domenico and Dermot Burton in the 1989 grand final. I'm both of those guys, but even more impressive. So
yes.
As I was coming off the ground at halftime, Dipper was doing the interviews at halftime, and I said to him, mate, I reckon I've got a punctured lung like you in the 89 grand final. I might end up in the same hospital bed. So at the time, it was a bit of a joke, but ended up being right. So, yeah.
Amazing.
And I'll tell you what, this is how much of a sporting legend you have become. Now you're fronting one of my... These guys are my favourite sportswear apparel brand, no doubt. I've got so much of their Fremantle stuff. They're called Mitchell and Ness. And I saw them all over socials yesterday. You're the face of their brand now. ever
Yeah,
since
I
those
am.
heroics?
I am, and it's a combination. I mean, they're it's retro, it's vintage, and I'd like to think I'm vintage. So so it's vintage gear, mitchellandness.com.au, and they've come up with some sort of scientific way to find out which club has the most emotional baggage. So, and Fremantle are very high.
I saw
They're
we were
carrying a
second.
lot of-
We were
yeah,
we were
so-
second on the list. They call it the Emotional Baggage Index, the EBI. We were second on the list, and at the top,
Is St Kilda.
St Kilda,
and
right.
so they've decided to take all Carlton's players so they can hopefully get some joy. But I don't know if they will. I don't know if they realise how bad Carlton are and what the hell they're doing with our players. We've got no idea. But anyway, so yes, but the West Coast aren't too bad because the joy, because 2006. I mean, if we had stayed, if 2006 hadn't happened, 2005 would have put more baggage on the Eagles. And I mean, the Eagles. I mean, obviously the last 5 years have been tough, but I was there in 2018, and that was it 1 point? Was it Sheed? Was
1
that like?
point.
1
yes.
point, yeah.
That wasn't that long ago. So
It was wonderful. That day was wonderful. and as anyone who knows, if you don't vote for Collingwood, I mean, if Collingwood were playing North Korea in a grand final, I'd be going for North Korea.
mate, can you do us a favour? Can you tell, because you're in Mitchell and Ness's ear, tell them these bags that they've been flying. Are they actually coming? I want one of the Fremantle bags.
Look,
They look awesome.
They are awesome. Apparently, they're quite expensive too. So, look, there's a possibility that they're not going to go and be mass produced, to be honest. But look, the fact is, it's getting us talking about the situation and who has suffered the most. So, and what annoys me is how small Hawthorn's bag is. God, that annoys me. Some of the bags are tiny, So
Very, very tiny.
is
Yep.
They haven't suffered for a long time. So.
All right. Hey, Hughesy, it's good to catch up with you, mate. It's just really nice to hear that you're happy and you're healthy.
Yeah.
we're stoked you're okay. And
Absolutely.
alive.
You got, mate. It braided its bloody proverbials off. So, Cars, you next year, man. No avoiding it. I don't care.
I'm going to be there. Is there any talk of retribution, Hughesy? Like, have you taken
Shane
it like
Crawford,
a good sport, or?
You understand, Shane Crawford, who was the coach of the Allies, had my name on the blackboard or the whiteboard before the game, and no one else's. So
I saw that, yeah.
And he's actually said, I want him to never want to play again. And he rang me when I'm in my hospital bed, and he said, Hughesy, I was only joking. I said, mate, some of these footballers aren't very smart. I didn't get your jokes.
You've got to spell it out. You're right.
And they went out and carried it out.
All right, Hughesy.
Embers.
Thanks for dropping in, mate. Good to
on
catch
you,
up with you as
Hughesy.
always.
You're a legend.
See you, brother.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Bit of fun here for what happens next before we get to Alpha Bucks for $10,000 just around the corner. So we play you part of a story. We all have a bit of a chat about what we think might happen next, and then we find out what does. Here we go. Here's story number one.
Today was Eli's birthday. She and her 3 best friends came home to celebrate. Her parents happily prepared the cake and then left the room to give the young people some space. When the fun was at its peak, Eli closed her eyes and made a wish. The moment she smiled and blew out the candles, an accident happened.
An accident happened. Interesting.
Oh.
At the moment that she blew out the candles.
I automatically go to hair caught fire.
Oh, you reckon? From one of the candles? Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
I've only just bought some new furniture for the place I moved into, and it was my daughter's birthday. But the sparkling candles,
Get out. It hasn't, has
burned
it?
all over the table. So there's not a meal I don't
far
eat
out. Yeah.
that I don't look at. The burn marks all over
Those
the
little sparkling, you
table.
can't miss them.
Kills me.
Look, I reckon there might be something wild about this one, and it's actually got nothing to do with the girl and the cake and her friends, and it might have something to do with the parents who left them alone. Because otherwise, why would it mention that in the story? That's what I'm going for here. Let's find out.
One of her friends suddenly pushed her face into the cake. A second later, Eli fell to the ground and didn't move anymore. Her friends thought it was a joke and excitedly called her to get up. But to everyone's shock, blood began to seep from the cake. It turned out that there were several thin skewers hidden in the cake.
Oh,
and one
God.
of them had directly pierced Eli's face. Hearing the screams, her parents rushed into the room. The scene before them terrified them, and they immediately called for emergency help. Fortunately, the medical staff arrived in time and successfully saved Eli's life. However, a scar that would never fade remained on her face. After the incident, Eli's parents took these friends to court, but since they were all only 15 years old, they ultimately received no punishment.
Go on, because I have no words. So
Well,
if you've got something to say,
I
you can
can't
say
help
it,
but
please.
think about the cake that I made.
I remember you had all those skewers in your cake. Yep,
See,
this is why.
it's not
dangerous.
totally uncommon.
All right, well, I think that's enough internet for today. The Battle of the Ages is back, and it's bringing along with it one of our absolute favourites from Carrie and Tommy, who you'll hear this afternoon. Talking about your generation, it is tonight on 10. Tommy Little is with us now, and I've only got one question, mate. Please tell me, because I'm having trouble with these all the time. What's a millennial?
Yeah, well, it's easy. If you're wondering, am I a millennial? Here's a very easy test. If you grew up and any kind of big brand to sell products, what they did is they got the person who owned the company, they put them on TV, and they declared that they were mentally incapacitated. And instead of caring for them, they just rocked them back and forward on a chair, and they went, the boss has gone completely mad.
I remember that.
Yes, and what's the result of his madness? He's selling stuff at insanely cheap prices. And instead of being a community and getting around and going, should we get him help? Should we put him in a nursing home? No, let's pilfer him for all his stuff. Let's flock to his stores and take all his crap before he gets his sanity back and realises what he's done.
Oh, God. But honest to God, now that you think about it and you bring that up, there was so much of 90s television where we spent it just looking at the TV and having somebody yelling at us about something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And if it wasn't enough that they were crazy, we even put it in the title. We had Crazy John's mobile phone.
Yeah.
Like, I love the workshopping that went through it. They go, should we call him Insane Ian? No. Nuts Nigel? No. What about Crazy John? Yeah, that'll sell it. That's who we want being the head and face of our company.
Yeah, it's bloody phenomenal. I must admit, though, of many shows that are on television that I actually like to sit down with the kids and watch, this is absolutely one of them, because it is one of those that you get sucked in to because there's just so much nostalgia about it, let alone actually being there and on the panel with your mates, mate. It must be just awesome to be a part of this show.
It's great fun, and it's good because there's so much stuff that, because you grow up thinking that your truth is like universal, there's so much stuff you don't realise. Like the Gen Zs, we did an episode where we got out Encyclopedia Britannicas and trying to explain to people who didn't grow up with those books what they are makes you sound just nuts as well, because you're like, oh, it's kind of like the internet but in books. And it's alphabetically arranged. So, some families, like my family growing up, we could only afford the A to C. So we had encyclopedic knowledge about anything that started with the letters A to C. So I know everything about carrots, but as soon as it got to dingoes or anything about that, we go, no, nothing. No, nothing.
My grandparents had a set of those. I actually bought a full set of Encyclopedia Britannica off an old bloke about 2 years ago for $100. He was just liquidating all of his books. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. And it weighed a ton.
Yeah, he'd gone completely mad. And he's selling knowledge for bargain basement prices. And then after that, there was the Encarta 97. Do you remember that?
I do remember the Encarta 97. Yeah.
That's where we got all of our information in the world on one CD, and it made it like we had to be inventive when we were young, because nowadays, if kids want to look up adult content, they can just Google it, right? But back in the day, if I wanted to see a nipple, I had to search like Italian Renaissance paintings in Encarta 97 and just hope for the best.
Yeah, mate, I remember those days. Hey, mate, this is great. We love this. We're looking forward to it. Talking about your generation. Bring it on. And before I let you go, sorry, mate, but I'm going to spring something on you here.
Being normal is so overrated, because being weird gets you on the radio. It's Pete and Kimber with Ben Cousins. Weird or not?
We're doing a segment called Weird or Not, and I heard this the other day on your show, on Carrie and Tommy. And I agree. I think it's weird. And this was Carrie talking about going into massage parlours and getting completely naked.
As I was lying face down naked on a massage table in front of a man I'd never met. And I thought, isn't that
Naked?
funny?
Why were you naked?
Because he was working on my back.
You do. I've never been to a massage place where you get fully naked.
Yeah.
Fully naked. And I did my legs, my butt,
Usually you wear underwear.
No, she told me to take everything off.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying
What are
you're.
you talking
I'm not
about?
saying you're lying. But every massage place I've ever been to, you keep your underwear on.
Yes, she gets completely nude for any massage, and if you're thinking, "Oh, this must be overseas or in some kind of unreputable place," no, she will go into day spas and get completely nude. And we phoned around a bunch of them, and I mean, I said it on our show, but I'll say it again: if I did that, I'd be arrested.
Me too. Yes. Mate, I completely agree with you. When I heard about this, I couldn't get over that she's doing that, and I'm going to throw it out there. I want to throw it out to the people listening to our show, because we're doing this segment at the moment called Weird or Not, where we talk about these, and then people call us to let us know whether they think it's weird or not. We're going to throw it out there right now, Tommy.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, mate. So 131060, this is for you listening right now. We need you to call up and let us know if you think Carrie from Carrie and Tommy is weird for going completely nude to the massage parlour. Okay? Or if you think it's perfectly fine, maybe we're going to find her people. Eva, is it weird or not?
Oh, definitely weird.
Definitely weird.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. So when's the last time you had a massage, Eva?
Maybe about a couple months ago.
Okay. And so the underwear stays on at the very least?
Yes. Or sometimes they do give like disposable underwear that you wear.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but at least something. At least something going on
Well,
there.
there is a...
What? There is a what?
Well, the towels are used appropriately.
Yeah. I still think that
So
the towel can fall off. I still think you got to have something else going on down there. All right. Hi, Carrie. Weird or not?
Not weird at all.
Okay. So I am going to take it on assumption that you do this.
Yes. If I also take it by what the place is like. If they're happy to say like, you can wear disposable underwear or you can wear nothing, I go for nothing at all.
Right. Okay. You just feel more comfortable that way? Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, it's not restricted. Well, while you're getting a massage, you don't have to worry about, the underwear just getting bundled up or like while you're trying to move, it's just, it's much more free and much more relaxing, which is what a massage is.
I must admit, there's the occasional wedgie that happens when they get down below the butt cheek, and that is a little bit uncomfortable. So, yeah, I can see how that would be the case. All right, Tiana, it's over to you. Weird or not? We're sitting either side of this so far. What do you think?
It's not weird.
Not weird. So you're in the same camp then. You completely disrobe.
I personally leave my underwear on, but I know I've been to a few day spas where they ask you to remove everything. I think it depends on the type of massage, because I know some of those like really long strokes, and apparently the underwear gets in the way. And I've also been to some where like you have like the mud put on and then you have to wash it off and stuff.
Yeah.
So
No,
I think it does depend, but it's not weird.
Yeah, and I've heard of a few of those places where they have the long strokes, and I've never been to one of those personally, but like that's the...
Behave.
That's the... Hi,
Please.
Cheryl.
Hi, guys. Morning.
Weird or not, mate?
Not weird. Not completely not weird.
Well, okay.
When you go to any sort of massage, yes, they offer you those disposable ones, but like if you want to, like the other caller said, if it makes you feel free, relaxed, you lay on the bed, they cover you with towels anyway. So when you turn over, your boobs aren't showing, they cover you with the towel.
Correct.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't think it's weird at all.
All right. Well, that's the general consensus is most people think it's not weird. Even on the text line, we're flooded at the moment with people like, it's not weird. It's perfectly fine. So there you go. Benny, you're in the not weird camp. Congratulations, mate.
Just this time.
Just this time around, yeah. Hey, if you've got something that might be considered weird or not, and you'd love to talk to us about it, we'd love to hear from you. PeteandKimber.com.au. All right, producer Brooke basking in the glow of the Emmys.
Good morning. Yes, I do love the Emmys. And look, it kept us watching because yesterday, usually, you could miss, you could walk away. But with Nate Bargatze hosting and setting this challenge where, he was donating $100,000 to charity, anyone who, could keep their speech to 45 seconds. And look, there was a catch if you couldn't speak in that 45-second time frame. Have a listen.
If you stay 45 seconds, it stays at $100,000. That's every second you go over 45 seconds, we will deduct $1,000 away from the Boys and Girls Club. I know. That's tough. It's hard. That's tough. It's brutal. What are you gonna do though? You know, I can't change it. This is a game I made up, and these are the rules. So.
I love him. His delivery's so good. He's a hilarious comedian.
He's so good. And he's got his own Netflix specials. He's never won an Emmy, but, head to Netflix, check out his, because he's actually really, really funny. And look, it did backfire a little bit. They did go under. They lost $40,000. So
is that right? So by the end of the night,
negative 40.
Okay.
Yep. But look, he came to the party. CBS ended up donating $100,000.
Which they were always going to. Let's be honest. You're not going to put up $100,000 for the Boys and Girls of America charity and not give them $100,000. That's not going to happen.
And look, Nate chipped in $250,000 of his own money. So look, they'll never be able to do it again, but it worked. It kept them on time and it kept everyone sharp on the night.
Yeah, like 5 minutes over for the entire event.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. I just want one thing from you. Of all the Emmys that were awarded, give me one TV show I need to watch because of it. Just one.
Look, I think the studio will be the one, the comedy Seth Rogen. That'll be the one that I'm probably going to go and, subscribe to Apple TV just so I can go watch it.
Seth Rogen's first Emmy as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
And he had a bunch. He could barely carry them. He was stumbling, trying to carry all these Emmys. So
love it.
But look, the other big news today is there's a video going around of Taylor Swift at... Yep, there she is, my girl. She's at the Chiefs game, and she's basically to get her out of, one door and then through to where she needs to go to watch it. They've basically erected this travelling partition.
I saw this.
Yeah,
yes,
so
I did.
Imagine a big black screen on wheels that they're basically using. And the innocence of Taylor Swift fans, because they're like, does she have a new hairstyle? Could she be pregnant? Why is she hiding? But the reality is...
It's sinister. I think the commentary that I'm hearing is that it's a bulletproof screen because they're afraid of what's happening over in the US at the moment with so much gun violence. And what happened with Charlie Kirk over the weekend, and everything's being so highly politicized as we speak.
Absolutely. And I mean, she's a billionaire and her safety is paramount. So, I mean, we might be seeing a big crackdown with these celebrities in terms of access.
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
I guess we
absolutely
have to.
Yeah, no, I think we do, but there's one other thing actually that I quickly need to mention about Taylor Swift, because I think we're 3 weeks away from the new album, which we're all very excited about.
Girl.
There is a cheeky whisper going around. Oh, I just got goosebumps. There's a cheeky whisper going around that tomorrow she may very well drop the first single.
Ooh, fingers crossed.
All right, so if that happens, you're going to hear it here. All right, you absolutely know we're going to bring it to you.
Kate and Kimber with Ben Cousins, 6 to 9 weekdays.
Shop the Footy Finals half-price cosmetics and vitamin sale on now at Chemist Warehouse.